I'm Hannah Marks. I played Penny. I'm Emma Pace. I played Lilith. I'm Jenny Jaffe. I played Emo Shelley.
I'm Doug Mazella. I play Sean the Beggar.
I'm Michael Virgin. I'm Joe. Fucking Bob. So, are there any questions off the top right here? Anybody like right here down in front have a burning question for these guys you want to start off with? Your question was, Bob, will you tell me to go fuck myself? What's your name? What? Dalton? Dalton? Dalton. Go fuck yourself. There was another one right in here somewhere. That was the best question ever. And we're done. Good night. Yeah, go ahead. Is there going to be a third? Who wants to take that? All right.
Jar on the way out.
I don't know. No, I have a script for a third. It's a larger movie, and it's Steve-O-centric, so it's more about, well, Matthew Lillard in the world. I gotta get the money for it. So there's that.
$1. Where's the jar?
You know you can cash the cash. Here. Sorry? You gotta raise your hand. I promise I will make them.
We'd always go and get one of those big high-tech jars, called Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So I guess that's a possible. It's a possible. I got a question. So how long was the shoot?
How long was the shoot? 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. We shot for 2 weeks, and we packed a lot of stuff in a very small amount of time.
How was it shooting back here in Salt Lake?
Well, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was sort of a very summery thing. I felt like, I was vacationing, and it's always a good thing.
I love you, man.
I love you too. Thank you very much.
Was it really better because your color palette is a summer? You are a summer? Who else has a question? Here you go, right here.
What made you decide to make the movie after 18 years of the first one?
What made you decide to make the movie after 18 years?
Wow, 18 years. You kidding?
1998.
Oh man, I'm so old.
That's true.
5 goddamn years. It would have been 14 years. People for the money. I'm joking. Literally, friends and people close to me said, like, you should make, that's, you relate to a genre and a sort of lifestyle and a young lifestyle, and you want to make another movie about that, you should go back to Salt Lake City, and so I did, and sort of lifted a lot of the story from a script I had written before I wrote SLC Punk, which refers to Penny and Roz and Crash, and it's a whole other movie that I wrote that Paramount wanted to make, but they were fucking me over, so I made SLC Punk instead. And now, boom, back in their face, I made this one.
Sorry for Bob and Devin, right? Yeah. So many people came back for this movie from the original movie. Why did you guys want to come back and do this?
SLC Punk has always been one of my favorite films to shoot. In all the years that I've been doing this, James is an amazing writer. I've read a lot of his stuff. So as soon as he called me, I was on board. I was a little skeptical at first. I didn't know where we were going to go after 18 years. But it all made sense when he told me about it, and it's been a blast, man. It's so good to be back.
Yeah. I always wanted to play a dead guy. Yeah, I would say on top of that, for me, working with James, he's a great director. He's really, he's got a vision. That's unusual. Thanks. I'm gonna go. Oh, right over here. You got a microphone and everything.
So I just wanted to know, did all of you guys kind of relate to punk in your younger days at all, or did any of you were any of you punks at all, or?
Who wants to start? Just pass it down.
Or I guess, are you still a punk? Is what I should say.
Raise your hand over there so she can see it.
Oh, I see.
I could relate to punk rock. I was never like really. Listen, I made SLC Punk. I don't know if you saw that movie, but I made SLC Punk literally because I had seen so many. I had made a bunch of movies before that. I was like in my 20s. I made like 8 movies. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make a movie because I had seen too many movies that Hollywood movies that sort of represented punk as, knife-wielding rapists. And like Class of '84, right? And even Terminator. And I was like, what the fuck is that? My friends were all geeks. I'm not saying that, Chris Williams is out here as a punk rocker. I don't know if he's still here. There he is, Chris. Oh, man, that's the real Bob from my point of view, right? John Cross was a rude boy, ska motherfucker, and totally bizarre. And, I grew up here, and I was like, no. So I made a movie that's saying, like, listen, for the baby boomers, we weren't like, we were geeks and weirdos, and we weren't like, raping people. So that, and amazingly enough, the movie didn't appeal to those people that I made it for, baby boomers. That instead sort of like, the vision was divided from a younger generation, 50% hate it, 50% like it, but it became this sort of, guide, and I don't know why. So, how did I start on this? That's what I do, I rant.
Were you a punker?
Oh yeah, well, so therefore, thank you for the moderating. Yes, of course, I was into the whole, I was a weirdo, so there it was. So, I wasn't like a full-on, I don't know, I liked a lot of stuff. I didn't just like punk, I liked David Bowie.
Yeah!
When I was young?
Yeah, when you were younger.
I don't know, I was never, I never knew much about the punk scene or anything, but I loved movies and I loved SLC Punk. So, so that's basically my knowledge of punk. And now I'm here.
We still love you.
I mean, my mom, when we would go on car trips, my mom and my dad would always play me like the Smiths and Toes CDs, and that's kind of where that goes, and that ends there. Unfortunately, punk clothes were cool when I went to high school. Oh, I'm sorry.
So you guys ready to lose all respect for me? So I was 14 in 2004. I was a shitty little emo kid. And Shelly is how I would have dressed if I wasn't so scared of getting in trouble. Listen to Linkin Park. It's okay. Hey guys, because it's fine, because I give no fucks now, and I think that's pretty God, no!
Let's just take it easy.
When I was young, when I was 19 or 20, I traded somebody. My first experience with punk, I traded somebody a Wu-Tang CD for a Rancid CD. Honestly, I was my first introduction to punk, and I've been listening to a lot of it ever since. It was the best trade I ever made, although I still listen to Wu-Tang. I love Little Rancid as well.
The first punk song I think I heard was Bitchin' Camaro. Yeah! What is this? This doesn't sound like all the other stuff. So, yes, I've listened to my share of more music. Okay, let's see.
There's a girl over there?
A girl over there. Yes, there is a girl over there. She has a question and a microphone. Go ahead.
So this is probably the most traditional question, but how does it feel to be part of something that's so big and like people's lives?
Who wants to feel down?
Star Wars 7?
I'm not even going to answer anything because I did take it as a compliment. But yeah, do you want to?
I didn't quite hear.
The question was, how does it feel to have been part of something that touched so many lives? I guess you're talking about the first movie, SLC Punk.
Fucking awesome.
Good. No, I didn't know. You know, for us, so the movie came out and kind of a few people saw it, right? A couple of people.
A lot of people saw it.
Yeah, we went to Cannes. Yeah, but then when it came out, nobody really cared. But then I didn't. You know, the internet started, and I started hearing people from. James, you can handle that. Yeah. It was, for me, it was a great experience to see over the years since it came out how it's grown. Like the people that it's affected, I'm sure you do too. I get a lot of emails and things from people that are very moving in a punk rock way. No, it's like helped a lot of people through a lot of shit, which I think is, you know, why it's not just a fluffy movie. It's a pretty deep film. So that's my experience.
Good.
So this is my first movie. I've got to say, it's really cool to come into this world and this fan base, and I do a lot of work. I have this organization. My sort of goal in life is to make people feel okay in the things they're going through and feel okay living their honest truth out loud, and I feel like SLC Punk did that for a lot of people. So it would be great if this did it too.
It's my first movie too, and so wait, the coolest thing I've done in my life so far, I think.
I came into this movie as a fan. I auditioned because I was a fan of the movie, so to be here is really amazing. And thank you for putting me in it.
You're very welcome. I don't know. I was didn't expect any reaction at all. Yeah, I do want to say that I'm really, happy that everyone came out to see the movie, and that I had no idea that anyone liked or even disliked SLC Punk until social media came out and slammed me. I was like, oh my God, people actually still watching this thing. So when I endeavored to make a sequel, I was really up against it, and it's been a 3-year shrill shrieking hell to get this movie made, and I'm happy about it because in the end, I think it turned out great. So as far as I'm concerned, I like the movie. Yeah. And I like the movie's performance. So everything else is irrelevant. That's the journey of a jerk like me. Thank you.
A question here?
Okay, question up top there.
If there was enough backing for it, would you actually want to open up a real SLC Punk pub?
How much money you got? Because I'll do it. Yeah, why wouldn't I do that?
Let's get a go-go going then.
Right.
We'll talk. Because SLC Punk bar? That's what you're talking about? Well, the pub. Okay, well, that's on my Facebook thing. That's a virtual pub where there's no actual alcohol served, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to make that real. Kickstarted, motherfucker. If you've been through a Kickstarter campaign, I'll tell you something. That sucks. That is a really hard thing to do. That is like, oh my God, you got to put yourself out there. You make these like ridiculous videos. You ask for money, and you keep asking, and you get hit hard by people's advice. Tells you you look like an idiot. It's tough, you know. And to get this much money for Punk's Dead was rare. I think Vice predicted I would get $10,000. We got 100,000, so they were because they were wrong. But also, Hollywood likes to ignore that there is a punk scene in this country. They love to say, "Oh well, there is no punk scene in this country." They have told me specifically, "What are you doing? There is no punk scene in this country." Fuck you! What the fuck is wrong with these people? Yeah! Right? Right! Because they're there, you're here, there's a punk scene. So, we make these movies.
Damn right.
I think one thing, just really quickly before we go to the next question, is that there's a lot of you here that actually worked on this. Can you guys raise your hands? What else we got? We got people here. Brent Geisler, I saw Danielle earlier somewhere. Zach. To everybody, Zach. You know, making a movie like this is really a labor of love, and especially when you're working with a Kickstarter budget of $100,000. How do you keep kind of pushing through when it's a 2-week shoot and there's not a ton of money in the budget, and you just got to pull in some other people, or you got to get a nice white limo for to ride around in, and how do you kind of push through that?
Well, honestly, yeah, we got more money from Jimmy guys. We didn't make it for $100,000. It cost more than that. So pushing through, just kept raising money. A guy named John Bedell, who's not here, should be here, is the major finance of the movie, and he put in a lot of money. I mean, a lot more. Not like $1 million, but more. So, John. So, John, where are you? He's not here. I hope he hears this because he's an agoraphobe and maybe has some anxiety things.
What is that?
Yeah, well, we'll just talk to Jenny about that.
I had a full-on panic attack on the red carpet.
But it was cool. I pushed through it because you guys were so nice, and also because Ativan. So it's been a good night for me. Been a real good night. But get not anxious. No, what?
No.
James.
Thank you.
Hi.
What I want to know is what we have to do here in Salt Lake City to get another event like this. It's actually a double feature of both movies back to back.
I have absolutely no. I mean, we could rent. Well, I asked Sony if they'll let me show my own movie. They don't often let me do that. But I could get a. We got the same guy, John Bedell, stole a print of SLC Punk, and then we can just come back and show the two movies together. Back to back. Actually, I put it on my. I actually, as just a personal thing, I put on my computer SLC Punk, cut out the credits in between, and then put the other one, and they actually kind of nicely jive, like it's a 4-hour movie. But,
Smoke break.
Hobbit. Well, no, we had a major intermission. Yeah. Beer and cigarette break. Yeah, well, or I was.
Yeah. Do it, Ruby!
Go to Broovies. For those of you who may not know, Broovies is a local theater where they serve alcohol and snacks and movies and This probably would be actually a pretty good venue to do this. By the way, this is one of the appreciate what was said. Who's got the mic? Okay, go ahead.
My question's for Hannah. What are you doing after the show, babe?
Okay, next question. Let's see.
Hello. Hi. So growing up in Salt Lake City, everybody knows about the first movie. We love it. Big, huge deal for us. But we all hear these rumors that it was based off of this true story. Heroin Bob lived and knew, but that's the part of the true story and all these rumors. So I wanted to know, is it true? Was it based off of a true story or is it garbage that we hear growing up in Salt Lake because it's such a big deal to us?
It's not a true story. It's not a documentary. It's a fiction. It's basically
thought.
based on my own experiences, along with some friends of mine like Eddie Leone, John Paz, Chris Williams. These are the people that are here in the audience, except for Eddie, that I based some of the experience, and then I made a lot of shit up. However, Steve O'Reilly and Heroin Bob are actual, in 1984, major figures in Salt Lake City. They were in major bands like Massacre Guys. Right? Okay, and I, listen, for the record, I came here and I said, like, listen, I'm going to have to change those names. I just, in the script, thought, you know, Steve-O and Heroin Bob sounded great for a Salt Lake City movie, because that was my memory. Then my producer said, like, you know, you should, like, see if you can use those names because they're cool names. So I went to Stephen Egerton, who is one of the greatest guitarists in punk rock. He plays with the Descendants. And I gave him the script, and I said, this is not about you, I just want to use your name. And he gave me notes, he loved the script, this is SLC Punk. And so I got his permission to do it. With Bob, I did the same thing. He's not dead, and he wasn't afraid of heroin. So, I'm sorry, neither. And as far as Sean was concerned, well, Sean Fightmaster unfortunately passed away. He OD'd on heroin, so I'm not sure about the applause, but he was really like, not necessarily, okay, John Paz told me some stuff about Sean Fightmaster, that he had, saw him, or that he had had a bunch of acid in his pocket, and then he had become so crazed by this experience that he thought his mother was trying to kill him and turn into Satan, and he thought he was sitting in his front lawn floating on the water. Okay, but that myth is across the board, all over the world, all over America. So, I don't call him Sean Fightmaster, I call him Sean. So, the movie's not a documentary. The movie is just simply fiction. It's making fun, having a good time. It's not a documentary.
Would you say that any similarity between that and real people is entirely coincidental, perhaps?
I would say that I relied on certain people to inform me about certain things. But no, there's no connection between Heroin Bob and the real Heroin Bob, the musician, who has a family and is doing great, and Stephen Egerton. There's no connection whatsoever, other than they allowed me to use the names because they're cool names, Steve-O and Heroin Bob. So that's that.
We have somebody has a mic over here.
Hi.
Hi.
So I was just wondering, what was the deciding factor to cast Kells as Crash, and how do you feel that his fans from multiple states are here to see this premiere?
Well, listen, MGK, well, man, he came and asked, his agent said, I want to be in this movie. And they had read Crash, he had read Crash, so I talked to him via Skype, and I was convinced. I didn't know that he was a rapper. I just, literally, that guy's a punk. So I didn't even think about it. He was perfect. So, people, I now have seen, well, how can you cast a rapper in a movie about punk? And I keep saying, well, you know, Peter Jackson cast regular people in the roles of hobbits. So I am outraged. So we should think about that.
Excellent point. Let's see. Oh,
This is for Hannah. What happened afterwards when you were running with Machine and Kelly and you guys got pulled over for air drumming? What happened?
That was hilarious. So, funny thing is, he had a suspended license. I think that's on the internet already, so I can say that. Also, I don't drive, and I drove for 80 pages of movie. Sorry, James. Nope. I was being towed, totally. I'm so sorry. And then I don't think Ben drives either because he's from New York. And Jenny doesn't drive.
It's a terrible getaway.
So basically we were taking a road trip on our day off and Kels was air drumming, I guess, and swerving, I think, a little. And we got pulled over and then the cop found out that none of us can drive. So, and Kels recorded it on a GoPro the whole time, and so it was on, I think it was everywhere. It was world
Bonus feature for the DVD.
Yeah. I think that's the whole story. But yeah, we were scared though that we were gonna go to jail and not be able to film the rest of the movie. I'm so sorry that you're finding this out now. Wait, James, I'm so sorry. I did call you before we filmed and said, hey, am I gonna be towed in the car? And you're like, yeah. I drove. I know how to drive, I just don't have a license. I had a permit. It was legal though, technically, because I had a permit.
There was no adult in the car, so but no, it's not like you have to have a class anyway.
There's a little bit of a question for Michael and Devin. I mean, after 18 years of not playing these characters, how difficult was it for you to step back into those roles, in the original movies?
It was pretty easy when our crazy wardrobe lady dropped off crazy wardrobe lady dropped off our crazy clothes. I put them on and it was right back to the way it was. It was nutty. If you saw what I was wearing, it was just I put it on and I was.
How do you feel about wearing that hat?
I thought you wanted it. I didn't know your wardrobe lady was nuts. Can't let you wear this hat. I'm like, okay. It worked though. It felt. It was dying. It was hot. I was dying.
You were like halfway through, like, why did I stay up?
Yeah. No, it was good. I would have, right? Thank God it's off. The end of the movie.
The crazy wardrobe lady was gone when I showed up. Yeah. Okay. I actually, strange. I kept my jacket. I've moved a lot. I moved around a lot. It's been in boxes and like in storage units, and I just always hung on to it. So.
Give you $1.
Give
you $5.
Can I auction? All right.
Didn't you auction off my orange mitts?
Discover card.
Yeah.
Those are gone. Yeah, I would have liked those. Those orange mitts. You really? You have the orange mitts?
$100.
You have the
Hey,
hat.
just be that backer.
Okay, so
No one cares about your question, Mark.
Fuck you, Jake.
Mark. Mark, you bring me down, man.
So so how did you decide on, or how did the bands that were involved in the film, aside from Rancid, obviously, how did they get involved in the film?
Oh, well, Black Dahlia is a very good friend of mine, been for years. That guy's amazing. And he's in the Dwarves, and if you don't know who the Dwarves are, then I know what to say. You know? What's that? Yeah, well, yeah, it's Black. So, and he, as I said, he's been a friend for many years, and we've actually recorded some music together, like a really interesting song about freeing Tibet, where he says, "Fuck a nun," and let's see a dead priest ball. So, you know, we had that kind of very close personal relationship, and as a result, he came in and he brought the Screeching Weasels, and and then of course ECP, the other band that is actually $8 Experiment. Is Evan here?
He's right there.
There you go, Evan. Stand up. Come on down. Salt Lake City. Come on down. He was in the first movie. He was also in a $8 Experiment called ECP. This is my man. He's looking a little more rude boy today. But he's got kids, so he's got to look nice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have him say a few words. And this is Evan.
Hello. Pretty cool working with you.
Any questions from the audience for ECP?
There you go. Any questions?
Buy your clothes.
You buy my clothes.
Black coat, white shoes, black hat. Do you have a Cadillac?
I do not.
When are you going to learn the fourth chord?
That's actually my brother. He's in Denver. You just need 3 quarters of the truth, is what they told me. That's all you got, man. Right, yeah. A holy trio. Drums, guitar, bass. Fuck it.
Bring that beat back.
Yeah. Probably, I wasn't dressed like a rude boy, but the specials come to run into mind.
Is Denver better than Salt Lake?
Of course.
For marijuana, it is. Fucking smokes you with marijuana. Line 'em up.
If I went home and grabbed a copy of the first one, you think the theater would let us play it?
If what happened?
If I went home and grabbed a copy of the first movie, you think the theater would let us